This is a request video. It's a little bit unusual. It's kind of a review, but it's not a review of a guitar you can go out and buy, because this is my guitar. This is, or at least it was, a Yamaha Pacifica when I bought it in late 2000 for the incredible sum of £199. And for many, many years it stayed the same stock guitar. I originally bought it up as a backup gigging guitar, and so it'd sit there on a stand, on stages, never being used. And then a few years ago I had some pickups made for the PRS that you see me play in some of the other videos, and they didn't work for the PRS, but I thought as I had them made, rather than just put them in a drawer, I'd try them in a different guitar. And as this one wasn't really doing anything at the time, I took the bridge pickup, dropped it in here, and it just seemed to transform the guitar. It was suddenly the right pickup for the right guitar. And from that moment onwards, I just started modifying it right the way through. Just to say straight away, everything that was on the Yamaha beforehand was absolutely fine. There was nothing wrong with it. The pickups are absolutely fine. And indeed, a lot of the hardware on this is still identical. This is still the same bridge unit. I never swapped that out. Same body, same neck. If I just move that way, the nut and the tuners, which are standard non-locking tuners, they're all absolutely identical. It has to be said, the nut is quite an unusual size, and so it's pretty hard to replace anyway. String tree, absolutely the same. You'll spot this little weird thing on the headstock there like that. That was actually a pick that was made for me, and you can't read the inscription there, but it says, "Where words fail, the guitar speaks." It wasn't great as a pick because it's stainless steel, so it's pretty unpleasant to listen to, but I was really touched that it was made for me, so I mounted it on this guitar to make it just that little bit more unique. Anyway, back down the business end. So yeah, all of those parts are stock, but then once I changed one pickup, I ended up changing all of them, and I created a completely new circuit to give me as much versatility as possible. So let me just walk you through this. You could find this to be a little bit boring, and as you'll quickly understand, there are a lot of features here, so we could spend quite a long time going through this. You'll be relieved to hear we won't. Okay, so standard volume, tone control, we'll come back to that because that's got a little hidden feature. Right, first of all, the bridge pickup. This is one of the ones I had made. It's called a Mr. Brownie pickup. It's made by a Californian company called Genesis Pickups. It's supposed to be a recreation of the PAF pickup that Eddie Van Halen put in his first Frankenstein guitar. So it's a sort of low output classic humbucker. That said, it does have 4-conductor wiring, and it's wired to this little switch here. This is a 3-way on switch. There we go. In the position where it's facing me, when it's up, it wires the pickup in parallel. So that gives you single coil type tones, but humbucking. In the center position, it's split, so there's only one coil working, so it's true single coil. A little bit more output than parallel, a little bit brighter. And then in the downward position, series wiring, full humbucker, more bass, more output. Then we have the middle pickup. Now this one's a little bit unusual. This is the middle pickup out of my very first guitar, which was a Rockwood by Hohner Strat copy. So there's nothing really to recommend this pickup. However, I had this rewound years ago. In fact, I had all the pickups in that guitar rewound by Andy at Wizard Pickups, and he rewound this to be reverse wound, and he just basically made it sound a lot more Strat-like, which, considering they were budget pickups, was quite an achievement. Even though he said in his invoice these are never going to sound like a 1954 Stratocaster because they're just not the right materials, but he still did a fantastic job. The reason it's in here is it's because it's lower output than the other two pickups. It does sound quite Strat-like, and it's nice to have that little drop in volume. It cleans things up instantly, and also it does give a lovely sort of Strat type in-between sound when combined with the other pickups. And then over here we have a Seymour Duncan P-Rails. If you look on my channel, there's a video of me demonstrating the P-Rails that are in my PRS. I'm amazed these pickups aren't more well known, aren't used by more people, because they are absolutely extraordinary. It's essentially two pickups in one. This part of the pickup here is a rail coil, and it acts as a single coil, And then this part over here is a P90, which for those of you who don't know is essentially a fat single coil. So what you can have is either of those on, and you can have them wired together in series to make a humbucker. So you've essentially got 3 pickup types in one pickup. Now I bought this second hand off eBay. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just a little bit dog-eared, but absolutely working perfectly. And it was the purchase of this that prompted me to buy a match set to go in my PRS. So anyway, this one is activated off this 3-way switch here. In the up position you get the rail single coil. All the way down you get the P90, and then the center position is the full series wiring to give you those humbucking tones. And there is quite a difference stepping through the 3. You can go from a totally clean sound to, you know, a full-on gain sound just by flicking the switch on this. So it is quite extraordinary. Now all of the pickups, just to be clear, are direct mounted. You can see there are no pickup rings. They're all direct mounted, and they also have foam packing underneath them so that they don't oscillate themselves. So they just transmit the vibration of the strings, and the pickups themselves don't move. I've also copper shielded the cavities that they're in as well. Okay. Now I said about the tone control about 4 years ago, because I realise I am waffling. The tone control is a little bit unusual because instead of having a capacitor like in a Gibson, maybe a 0.033 microfarad, or like in a Strat, a 0.047, this is a 0.1. This is an ex-Soviet military paper in oil 0.1. So it rolls off a lot of treble, but it does give you a lot of treble cut, but it's lovely and smooth. In fact, if I go over to the bridge pickup, you'll hear it much more clearly. It's lovely and smooth, and because of its value, you can get real wah-like swells, particularly if you're using gain. I also mentioned that there's a little secret feature as well. If I press it, it's also a little push-push switch. If I just go that way, you can see that. Now what that does is that brings in the bridge pickup irrespective of the 5-way switch. The 5-way switch works like it would do on a Stratocaster: bridge in middle, middle and neck. So in the first 2 positions, bringing in the bridge doesn't make any difference. Sorry, in the first 3 positions it doesn't make any difference, because if you combine it with the middle coil, it sounds just like position 2. However, once you get over to positions 4 and 5, in position 5 it gives you the 2 outside humbuckers, like a 2 pickup guitar, so like a Telecaster or a Les Paul. And of course in the position 4 you get all the pickups on. What's more, don't forget that of course you can choose 3 settings according to these 2 pickups. So if you've got all of them engaged, you've got so many combinations, and even if you just got these 2 engaged here, you can have all the combinations like that. So I did the maths once, I've forgotten, I think it's more than 30 different sounds out of what is essentially, you know, a 5-way 3 pickup guitar. So anyway, enough talk, let's run through some sounds. Let's start off clean with the middle pickup. I've got the volume wound all the way up. I'm going to do the same for each of them. So they are nice, clean. It's the quietest, cleanest tone that we can have. Let's go over to the bridge pickup, and let's go parallel. Okay, and then we're going to flick to the single coil. Just a little lift in volume. And then full series. Again, you hear the volume kick up, a little bit more bass. Like so. Okay, if we go to position 2, This is now the middle single coil plus any of the combinations here. So we'll start off with the bridge pickup in parallel. Okay, put the bridge pickup over to single coil. And then finally, full humbucker. So you've got quite a lot going on just there. Alright, we're going to go over to the neck pickup now, and this is just the rail coil on its own. Alright, now we'll go over to the P90. Immediate lift in output. And then finally, the two of them wired together, lift and output again. So there's so much versatility just in that one pickup. Now we'll combine it with the middle pickup, going back to the rail coil. Across to the P90. And then the full humbucker. Now this is where the fun begins. We'll go across to the neck pickup again, but we'll engage the bridge pickup there. And what we'll do is we'll have the single coil and the single coil on both of them. Now if I turn the bridge pickup off, there, that's just the neck on its own. Bring the bridge back in. So, okay, and then let's put the neck into P90. Take the bridge out. See how much it thickens up. These are great clean rhythm tones. If you think that the bridge pickup is too bright, like that, but that the neck pickup is too dark, them both on. It's a lovely halfway house. Okay, let's stick them both in full humbucking. Okay, so let's have the bridge on its own, full humbucking. And then we'll have the neck on its own. Quite heavy, quite dark. Two together. Now if we want to thin that out a little bit further, what we'll do is we'll go single coil bridge, we'll go P90 neck, and we'll engage the middle single coil, and now we've got all three pickups on single coil. Okay, let's have the full humbucking on the neck. That back to P90 and go full humbucking on the bridge. So there you are. That's just a small taste of what this can do, and that's even without playing any gain sounds as well. We'll just stick with the clean sounds to really demonstrate the difference between them. So there you are. That is my absolute mongrel Yamaha Pacifica. For the guitar that it is, for the cost, it shouldn't be any good. And of course I have dropped some very decent pickups into it, but just a little bit of switching and a little bit of thought, and it really is a do-it-all guitar, and I'm incredibly pleased to play it.